Have you been feeling less strong lately? Do you notice that your muscles don't respond the same way anymore, that moving takes more effort, and that your energy seems to run out faster than usual? It's not just a feeling. Over time, the body loses muscle mass and endurance, and that affects everything, from how you get up from a chair to how secure you feel with every step you take. The good news is that you can reverse this process. There are simple exercises that activate your muscles and bring vitality back into your routine. And science backs this up. Research published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research has shown that regular training improves strength, stability, and confidence when moving through daily life. In this video, you will discover a practical routine designed to strengthen your body in a safe and effective way. Stay until the end, because what you'll learn today can truly make a difference in your health and the way you move. And if this video helps you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. It really supports our community and helps us keep growing together. Exercise 1. Isometric squat. Holding the squat position, even if only for a few seconds, can become a real challenge for the legs and for the body's endurance. This is not about a dynamic movement, but about a static posture that forces the muscles to work without rest. The quadriceps, at the front of the thigh, are the first to activate to support the flexion of the knee. The glutes, at the hip, provide firmness and stability, preventing the posture from collapsing too quickly. At the same time, the hamstrings, located at the back, balance the tension and help protect the joints. We must not forget the role of the core. The abdominals and lower back muscles immediately switch on to keep the spine straight, ensuring that the back does not arch or lose stability. In this way, without taking a single step, you achieve a complete workout. A gesture that seems so simple ends up activating a muscular chain that combines strength, postural control, and endurance. For older people, this type of stimulus is especially valuable, since it strengthens what is most needed in daily life: firm legs, stable hips, and a trunk capable of supporting the body in balance. The value of the isometric squat goes far beyond physical effort. This exercise improves localized muscular endurance, which translates into more ease in walking, climbing stairs, and standing for longer periods without excessive fatigue. In addition, the prolonged contraction stimulates circulation in the lower part of the body, promoting tissue oxygenation and reducing the stiffness that often appears with age. On a preventive level, it becomes an effective tool to reinforce balance and decrease the risk of falls. And this is not just a subjective perception, but a proven benefit. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research indicated that isometric exercises, practiced regularly, enhance maximum strength and increase the ability to maintain a stable posture. This means that, even if the body remains still, the results in terms of strength and safety are evident. In conclusion, we are talking about a simple practice that does not require expensive equipment, that adapts to different fitness levels, and that offers visible improvements in a relatively short time. The very act of holding a posture demands discipline, concentration, and consistency, values that also have a positive impact on the person's confidence and independence. To perform the isometric squat safely, the first thing is to look for a firm and stable wall. With the back supported, descend slowly until you find a comfortable angle in the knees. The ideal is to approach 90 degrees, but if this creates difficulty, you can start with less flexion, around 120 degrees, without a problem. The feet should be aligned, shoulder width apart, and firmly placed on the floor. Once in position, it is recommended to hold between 15 and 30 seconds at the beginning, and then gradually increase to 1 minute. Throughout the entire time, it is essential to breathe continuously, avoiding holding your breath. For those who prefer more accessible variations, one option is to place a chair behind you, so that it works as support in case of fatigue. Another alternative is to reduce the time and perform several short repetitions instead of one long set. The European Journal of Applied Physiology has noted that isometric contraction exercises, in addition to strengthening the muscles, also support bone health, which adds an extra benefit. However, it is important to stress that the body should not be forced. If sharp pain appears in the knees, hips, or lower back, it is best to stop the exercise and adjust the posture, or choose a lighter option. The goal is not to endure at all costs, but to progress safely and consistently. Practiced regularly, The isometric squat becomes an ally to maintain mobility, strength, and above all, the confidence that the body can still respond with energy. Exercise 2. Glute bridge. Lying on your back, placing your feet firmly on the floor, and lifting your hips toward the ceiling may seem like a simple gesture, but in reality it involves deep and very complete work. In this action, the glutes are the main protagonists, as they contract strongly to lift the pelvis and keep it stable in the air. The hamstrings, located at the back of the legs, collaborate intensely in the movement, while the quadriceps act as additional support to stabilize the knee. The abdomen and the lower back, for their part, also remain active to ensure that the spine stays aligned and does not arch excessively. In this way, the glute bridge not only strengthens large muscles such as the glutes, but also stimulates the deep stabilizers, generating a double benefit: power and control. This is an especially valuable exercise because it reinforces areas of the body that tend to weaken with age, which often leads to consequences such as back pain, difficulty walking smoothly, or less stability when standing. Among the most important benefits of the glute bridge, we find improved strength in the hips and in the lower back, which translates into greater security when walking and fewer discomforts when standing for long periods of time. It also helps relieve tension in the lower back, since it activates the glutes, muscles that often remain inactive for much of the day. This activation protects the spine, distributes loads more efficiently, and reduces the risk of overuse in other areas. Another fundamental aspect is that this exercise contributes to improving posture, as it strengthens the core and promotes more stable alignment. Scientific literature supports these effects. An article published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy highlighted that programs including glute strengthening exercises significantly reduce lower back pain and improve motor function in people with hip muscle weakness. In other words, we are not just talking about an exercise to tone, but about a practice with a direct impact on quality of life and personal autonomy. In addition, the glute bridge helps prevent falls, as it reinforces the posterior chain of the body, which is key to overall stability. The correct execution of the glute bridge requires attention to technique, but it is not complicated. You start by lying on your back, with your knees bent and your feet placed hip-width apart. The arms should rest at the sides of the body, with the palms facing down. From that position, contract the glutes and slowly lift the hips, avoiding excessive arching of the back. The recommended goal is to reach a straight line from knees to hips to shoulders, hold the posture for 2 to 3 seconds, and then lower in a controlled way. At the beginning, it will be enough to perform 10 repetitions, in 2 or 3 sets, leaving short rests between each one. Over time, you can increase the repetitions or add variations, such as holding the position longer or raising one leg while the other supports the weight. For those who need a gentler adaptation, it is possible to use a higher surface to rest the feet or reduce the range of motion. The Journal of Bodywork and Movement Therapies points out that this type of exercise, in addition to strengthening the hips, improves neuromuscular activation and favors coordination between glutes and lower back, reducing the risk of injuries. Even so, it is advisable to remember not to force the body. If intense pain appears in the back, knees, or hips during practice, it is best to stop and look for more comfortable alternatives. The goal is always to progress safely, strengthening without forcing, and gaining confidence in movement step by step. Exercise 3. Plank. Placing your forearms on the floor, aligning your body from head to feet, and holding that firm posture for a few seconds may seem simple at first glance, but in practice it requires deep work. The plank activates the entire central area of the body, from the abdominal muscles to the lower back, generating an effort that also extends to the shoulders, arms, and legs. The glutes play a decisive role in keeping the hips stable, preventing them from sinking or lifting too high. The quadriceps and hamstrings, although they do not move, remain in constant tension, providing support to the posture. This set of muscles works simultaneously, forming a kind of natural corset that protects the spine and improves the ability to stay firm. The interesting aspect of this exercise is that it does not require repetitive movement, but static endurance, which makes it a useful tool to improve trunk stability and overall strength without the need for displacement. The benefits of the plank extend beyond strengthening the abdomen. Holding this posture regularly improves core endurance, which makes it easier to maintain good posture while standing or walking. It also strengthens the lower back and helps prevent pain associated with muscular weakness in that area. It brings improvements in balance as well, since it requires coordination among different muscle groups to maintain correct alignment. An article published in the Journal of Physical Therapy Science demonstrated that including planks in exercise programs significantly increases core strength and reduces discomfort in the lower back. These results confirm that, beyond its apparent simplicity, this is an exercise with a direct impact on functional health. Another relevant aspect is that the plank does not overload the joints of the legs, making it a safe option for people who need to avoid jumps or high-impact movements. In short, we are talking about a gesture that strengthens, protects, and brings confidence to daily movement, without the need for big equipment or complicated routines. To perform the plank correctly, the most important thing is to take care of the technique from the beginning. You start by placing your forearms on the floor, with your elbows aligned under your shoulders. The body must remain straight, avoiding the hips dropping or the glutes lifting too high. The feet stay together, resting on the toes, and the head is aligned with the back, looking slightly downward. It is recommended to hold the posture from 10 to 20 seconds in the first sessions, then gradually increase to 1 minute. In case of difficulty, an accessible variation is to rest the knees on the floor while still maintaining trunk alignment. Another useful adaptation is to perform the plank against an inclined surface, such as a wall or a bench, reducing the load on the central area. The Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research points out that isometric exercises such as the plank improve not only abdominal strength, but also the ability to stabilize the spine against unexpected efforts, which is an advantage for injury prevention. Even so, it is always important to listen to the body. If sharp pain appears in the lower back or shoulders, it is best to stop and adjust the technique. The goal is not to endure at all costs, but to progress safely, gradually reinforcing trunk endurance. With constant practice, the plank becomes a key ally to sustain movement with strength, stability, and confidence. Bonus: walking. Walking represents one of the most accessible ways to stay active, and although it is not the only one nor the most complete, it does constitute a fundamental pillar within any movement routine. By taking continuous steps, the body sets in motion a mechanism that strengthens respiratory capacity, promotes blood circulation, and improves heart efficiency. It is, in essence, a moderate aerobic exercise that helps keep the lungs and cardiovascular system in good condition. At the same time, it prevents the negative effects of a sedentary lifestyle, which has become one of the main health risk factors today. The simplicity of walking is what gives it such value. It does not require expensive equipment, it can be practiced in almost any environment, and it easily adapts to each person's pace. However, it is important to remember that walking alone does not replace other exercises. It should be understood as a complement, as a solid foundation on which to build an active life, but not as the only movement strategy. When combined with strength and stability exercises, its impact multiplies, since it offers a balance between cardiovascular endurance and muscle care. The benefits of walking cover both the physical and the emotional levels. From a cardiovascular perspective, this regular habit helps reduce blood pressure, improves lung function, and increases overall endurance, which translates into greater ease in performing daily tasks without becoming exhausted. It also contributes to weight control, regulates glucose levels, and helps maintain a healthier metabolic profile. As for mental health, walking in open spaces stimulates the release of endorphins, reduces stress, and improves sleep quality. A positive effect has even been observed on memory and attention, thanks to increased blood flow to the brain. Scientific evidence supports these claims. The British Journal of Sports Medicine published a study concluding that regular walking significantly reduces the risk of chronic diseases such as hypertension and type 2 diabetes, in addition to improving life expectancy. This finding highlights that walking should not be seen as a minor gesture, but as a practice with a real impact on health and longevity. In short, walking may seem simple, but its contribution is broad, visible, and profound. The correct way to incorporate this habit requires consistency and progression. The most advisable approach is to start with short walks, about 10 or 15 minutes, at a pace that allows you to maintain a conversation without difficulty. Over the weeks, you can gradually increase until you reach 30 minutes a day, ideally 5 times per week. You don't need a gym or sophisticated machines, just comfortable footwear, appropriate clothing, and, if possible, a safe and pleasant space. For those who want to go a step further, you can vary the surface, alternating between flat ground, gentle slopes, or even trails with slight irregularities, which adds an extra challenge to balance and coordination. The Journal of Aging and Physical Activity has highlighted that walking regularly improves postural control and significantly reduces the risk of falls, something essential for maintaining independence. Even so, caution is recommended. If intense pain appears in the knees, hips, or back, it is best to stop and rest before resuming. The goal is never to force, but to advance progressively and safely. With discipline, walking becomes a simple, affordable, and very effective habit, capable of improving physical health, protecting mental well-being, and, above all, reinforcing confidence in your own movement. Final tip. The most important part at the end of this journey is understanding that exercises only fulfill their true purpose when they are done with consistency, safety, and dedication. It is not about doing them in isolation, but about gradually integrating them into your daily routine, always seeking an environment where you feel comfortable, stable, and confident. Each practice is an investment in your health, an opportunity to strengthen your muscles, protect your joints, and keep your energy active. It is key to understand that no result comes immediately, but with perseverance the benefits appear progressively: greater ease in walking, more balance, less pain, and a general sense of vitality that shows in every movement. Before starting any session, it is essential to prepare the body. A short warm-up, with gentle arm movements, ankle and knee rotations, light stretches, and deep breathing, helps wake up the muscles and get the circulation going. This simple step should not be overlooked, because it reduces the risk of injury and allows each exercise to be more effective. It is also advisable to progress gradually. If a movement demands too much, it is better to reduce the intensity, adapt the posture, or even stop. Listening to your body is one of the best strategies to progress safely. The goal will never be to compete or to push limits at all costs, but to improve little by little, enjoying the process and building self-confidence. It is important to highlight that all of these exercises are backed by science. Numerous studies have shown that practices of strength, endurance, and stability generate significant changes in physical health and in the body's functionality. The evidence points to improvements in bone density, in the prevention of falls, in joint mobility, and in blood pressure control. It has also been proven that maintaining regular exercise routines contributes to emotional well-being, reduces anxiety, and strengthens memory. This means that we are not talking about unfounded recommendations, but about studied and proven strategies that offer real and tangible benefits to those who practice them with discipline. In short, what is worked on here is supported by science and validated in different contexts, which gives even more confidence when putting it into practice. With all this in mind, the invitation is clear: integrate these exercises into your daily life, respect yourself, take care of your timing, and move forward at your own pace. Always keep your motivation alive. Remember that movement is synonymous with independence, health, and quality of life. Do not let a sedentary lifestyle take over, because every step, every repetition, and every effort counts. I hope this content has inspired you, that you find in these routines a practical guide to staying strong, and that you feel motivated to go out, to walk, to exercise, and to discover what your body is still capable of. And if this message has been useful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give it a like, because together we will keep learning, improving, and building a community that cares, that moves, and that always strives to feel better.